grabbed the wrong folder, so
Oh,
I don't have my council rules. I should say, come on.
all right, welcome, everybody. Let's begin this meeting. Okay. Sure I got the right one. Right, let's, Mr. Clerk, Madam Clerk, we're going to call this meeting to order. It's September 2nd, 2021, Thursday. It's the Providence City Council, of the state of Rhode Island. We'll begin this meeting. We recording, we all set? Thank you. Mr. Clerk, first item, roll call.
Council President Igliozzi.
Present.
Councilwoman Anthony. Majority Whip Castillo. Councilman Correa is absent. Council President Pro Tempore Espinal.
Present.
Councilman Gonzalez. Deputy Majority Leader Harris.
Present.
Councilor Kerwin.
Present.
Councilwoman LaFortune is absent. Councilor Miller is absent. Senior Deputy Majority Leader Narducci is absent. Councilwoman Ryan.
Present.
Councilor Salvatore.
Present.
Majority Leader Taylor.
Here.
Councilman Vargas.
Here.
You have 11 present and 4 absent. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item is the invocation. It'll be led by me, John J. Igliozzi. Could I ask all my council colleagues, rise as the colors come into the chambers. Thank you. On August 26, 2021, while our brave men and women of the armed forces was trying to expedite the evacuation of Afghans, other Americans, and allies from Kabul, Afghanistan, in the international airport, there was a cowardly attack that occurred in which 150 servicemen and civilians were wounded and 11 Marines, 1 Navy corpsman, and 1 Army soldier were killed. This moment, I'd like to read out their names as we pay homage and honor to the brave men and women who sacrifice their lives every day to protect this great country that we all live in. Sergeant Johanny Rosario Pachado, Marine Expedition Brigade. Sergeant Nicole Legee. Staff Sergeant Darren T. Hoover. Corporal Hunter Lopez, 22. Corporal Dagan W. Page, 23. Corporal Humberto Sanchez, 22. Lance Corporal David L. Espinoza, 20. Lance Corporal Jared M. Schmidt, 20. Lance Corporal Riley J. McCullum, 20. Lance Corporal Dylan R. Marola, 20. Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nkoye, 20. Navy Corpsman Maxton W. Sovic, 22 years old. And Staff Sergeant Ryan C. Naus, 23 years old. On behalf of the Providence City Council and the people of Providence, we give our warmest condolences to their family and friends who've lost their loved ones on that tragic day. God bless the men and women of the armed forces and their family. Next, the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Councilwoman Mary Kay Harris. Councilwoman.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, next item, please. Item number 3.
Approval of minutes. Item 3, Journal of Proceedings number 20 of the special meeting of the City Council held July 13th, 2021. Journal of Proceedings number 21 of the regular meeting of the City Council held July 15th, 2021. Journal of Proceedings number 22 of the special meeting of the City Council held July 15th, 2021. And Journal of Proceedings number 23 of the special meeting of the City Council held July 21st, 2021.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to waive the readings of item 3 and approve on a voice vote.
Chairwoman Ryan.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Next item.
Appointments by His Honor the Mayor.
Majority Leader Taylor.
Mr. President, motion to waive the readings of item 4 through 15.
Second the motion, Mr.
Second by
President.
Chairwoman Ryan. Discussion? All in favor?
I'm sorry, there was not a waive the reading, and was there something else to that motion?
Mr. Clerk, it was a motion to receive, was motion, second, discussion, and we just voted on yes. Now, it's received all those items.
Okay, if that was a motion, thank you.
Next item, it's starting at 16.
Presentation of ordinances. Item 16,
Mr.
Councilman.
President,
Fifth.
Majority Leader.
motion to waive the reading of item 16.
Second that motion, Mr. President.
Second by Chairwoman Ryan. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Refer to the Committee on Ordinances.
Mr. President, have we missed an item on the agenda? Have we missed 15?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
Did we miss item 15? We
Oh.
received,
The previous
No.
motion was 4 through 15.
Did you do 15? Yes. I'm fine.
okay,
Well,
thank you.
next item, please, Mr. Clerk.
Item 17, Council President Igliozzi, an ordinance amending a tax stabilization
Mr.
agreement.
President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to waive the reading of items 17 through 32.
Second that motion, Mr.
Second
President.
by Chairwoman Ryan. Discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Refer all the items to Finance Committee. Mr. Clerk, next item. Yes, you can, of course, I'll let you have your moment to speak on item number 32.
Thank you so much.
Councilman Anthony.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I just wanted to say that I have introduced the resolution of the City Council regarding Sean Selleck. Not because I am taking sides in this, it's merely so that we have an open and transparent process. I have the highest regard for every single person in the clerk's office. They do a tremendous job for us. They do a tremendous job for the city, and I'm so appreciative of everyone's efforts. However, I would ask that the report that's being generated by Attorney Friday, at the conclusion of her investigation, be shared with the entire council, and that whatever next steps are taken with regard to our clerk are taken with, in collaboration with all of the city council. I, for one, have no idea what the substance are of these complaints. And I feel that we should all be involved, and it is in accordance with our city charter. So I just wanted to speak to that, and I would appreciate it if we could be included in the process moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mr. Clerk, next item.
Item 33,
Mr.
Councilwoman Ryan.
President?
Chairwoman Ryan first.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to amend the printed docket to remove my name, which appears on item 33. It shows me, it lists me as a sponsor, of the resolution 33-684, future use of the Superman building. I want the official record to show that I'm neither a lead sponsor nor co-sponsor this resolution. While the Superman building is a beautiful historic building and a historic fixture of our skyline, every fiscally responsible avenue should be explored to breathe life into this icon. I do believe the matter should go before the Finance Committee. Thank you.
Madam Chairwoman, do you want to amend the docket as well as the resolution?
The docket, sir, I'm not sure, the official record, the resolution itself should also reflect that I am not a sponsor or a co-sponsor. It
So-
was a clerical error.
So we have that motion. Do we have a
Second.
second by majority leader? Do we have a discussion? All in favor? Aye. Now, Mr. Clerk, read item number 33 as amended, and then if you could, Councilman Goncalves, then I'll have you, right? Mr. Clerk, could you do that, please, sir?
Item number 3, Councilman Gonzalez, resolution regarding the future use of 111 Westminster Street, also known as the Superman Building.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Councilman Goncalves.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate the opportunity to speak about the Industrial National Bank Building, otherwise known as the Superman Building resolution tonight. So before this goes to committee, I just want to clarify what this resolution does for the record. This resolution calls for a feasibility study on eminent domain proceedings. So again, this is calling for the city to conduct a study on the feasibility of whether or not city or state initiated eminent domain proceedings against the property as a means of preserving this Rhode Island landmark is necessary or feasible. So the key words here are feasible and study. This is not suggesting that eminent domain is the best course of action. This would just result in a study to determine the feasibility of eminent domain, which may very well not be feasible for the city or the taxpayers. As many of you heard, there is a proposal by the developer to rehabilitate the building with residential housing. This is great news, and we need to save the building. I hope as a council body, we're 100% in support of any proposal or private-public partnership to get it back into meaningful use, and I ultimately hope that it finally happens. However, if those negotiations or deals do fall through, as they have in the past with the Citizens Bank building, PayPal, Samsonite proposals, then the Hail Mary last resort option should be whether or not it's feasible to take it by eminent domain, and hopefully a study will spur further action. Hopefully that's not necessary or the required option, but the renowned skyscraper has been dark, as we all know, and vacant for nearly 10 years. And we need action as a city to ensure that it isn't vacant for another 10 years. So I hope that before this gets referred to committee, my fellow colleagues will potentially sign on as co-sponsors, and I respectfully ask that this resolution go before due diligence and the city is able to eventually conduct a feasibility study as to whether or not this is possible. So I want to thank the Finance Committee in advance tonight, and I ultimately look forward to the robust discussion that the committee, spearheaded by the members of the Finance Committee as well as the Finance Chair, will have on this matter. So thank you very much, Mr. President, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Councilman. Refer to the Finance Committee. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Item 34,
Mr. President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to read item 34 into the record and to pass on a voice vote.
Second that motion.
And if it's okay with the sponsor, I'd like to co-sponsor.
Absolutely.
Second by Chairwoman Ryan. Would the full council like to co-sponsor this item? Mr. Clerk, make note, also by the make note that Councilman LaFortune is present, and I believe the full council is co-sponsoring item number 34 in honor of Patricia Catherine Nolan, former councilwoman and a colleague of my own. With that, Mr. Clerk, could you, all in favor of the motion, I believe? Aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Mr. Clerk, could you please read item number 34 into the record? And
My
one other
pleasure.
thing first, don't we have a letter also? I thought we had a letter. Oh, all set. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you. My apologies. Mr. Clerk, please read item number 34. Thank you.
Whereas on August 9th, 2021, former Providence City Councilwoman Patricia Catherine Nolan of Ward 9 passed away at age 79. And whereas originally from Massapequa, New York, Ms. Nolan moved to the Elmwood neighborhood in 1985 to work as a regional sales representative for Eastman Kodak. And whereas as a dedicated member of the community, Mrs. Nolan found her passion as a community activist before becoming the first woman elected to represent Ward 9 on the Providence City Council, serving on the council from 1991 to 2001. And whereas Councilwoman Nolan was an active member of the Providence City Council, serving on numerous boards and committees, including the Board of Contract and Supply, the Board of Park Commissioners, Committee on Public Works, the Committee on Finance, the Committee on Urban Redevelopment, Renewal and Planning, and the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits. And whereas Councilwoman Nolan was also involved with parish charities at St. Michael's Church, where she met Sister Ann Keefe, co-founder of the Institute for the Practice and Study of Nonviolence, where Mrs. Nolan was one of the first graduates. And whereas Councilwoman Nolan worked with Sister Ann Keefe to launch the Providence City Arts for Youth in Elmwood to help Providence youth have equal access to performing and visual arts programs. And whereas Councilwoman Nolan was a visionary legislator and zealous advocate for nonviolence, city art, and homeownership initiatives, which have become increasingly poignant issues for the city in recent years. And whereas Mrs. Nolan is survived by her 3 children, her daughter Jane and her husband Stephen, her daughter Catherine and her husband John Rabkovich, and her son Thomas M. Nolan and his husband Peter N. Bramante. She also leaves her grandchildren John Moskowski, James Rabkovich, and Nicholas Rabkovich. And whereas Councilwoman Nolan is a role model for the entire Providence community through her dedicated civil service, and she leaves behind a lasting impression on the thousands of lives she impacted both in the city and the state. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Providence City Council hereby honors the life, memory, and legacy of Councilwoman Patricia Catherine Nolan. Be it further resolved that the City Council of the City of Providence extends its deepest condolences to the entire Nolan family, as well as Councilwoman Nolan's extended family and friends throughout Providence and beyond.
Chairwoman Ryan.
Mr. President, I'd like to just say a few words on that resolution. Pretty much says it all, but this is one of our own. Pat Nolan was a dynamo. She served on the Providence City Council, as the resolution states, from 91 to 2001. She came to Providence from New York in 1985. Soon after that, she ran for office. So in 1991, she was elected, and she served on just about every council committee there was. And we heard in the resolution that she worked on nonviolence, city arts, youth programs, and she believed in engaging our youth in making sure they had appropriate programming. But moreover, she was a staunch advocate for affordable housing in Elmwood. She was instrumental in creating the Elmwood Historic District. That was pretty big in that time. Years ago, or back in her time, there was the East Side Historic District in Benefit Street, but there weren't too many other. I think it was the second move to create a neighborhood historic district. But in doing so, she was also a preservationist, and it's remarkable the work that she did to take those big old houses on Adelaide Avenue specifically through the Elmwood Housing Authority and put affordable housing in those units while maintaining the integrity and the structure of those beautiful, beautiful homes. She did it with ease. She did it with partners. She built partnerships with the state, municipal government, and also the local housing advocates to make sure it made sense for the community, but also she did it in a way that respected the housing stock. So she's truly a remarkable woman. I think the only person that is with us this evening that served with her is the council president. When I mentioned I wanted to do this resolution in her memory to honor her life and legacy, you wanted to be the first to support and sponsor it. So you encouraged me to do that and shared with me some of her wonderful work on this body. So with that, I'm proud to have put forth this resolution. I'm thankful that many of you, each of you has agreed to co-sponsor. And she certainly was a life well lived and certainly served her city very well. So thank you. Thank you all.
Well said. Councilwoman, Deputy Majority Leader, Mary Kay Harris.
I'd like to say I stand with honor tonight to represent. One of the things I can say about Ward 9, Ward 9 has always had really great city councils. This is the beginning of it. I met former Councilwoman Pat Nolan back in 1992 after the brutal death, the violent murder of my nephew. She circled herself around my family. She had just became, in 92, she had just became a city council. And at that time, you know, I always say this and I want to say it again. You meet people in your life, you meet people for a season, you meet them for a reason, and you may meet them for a lifetime. Let me tell you, with that, Pat Nolan, immediately after we met, put me to work with community, with young people in the neighborhood, and working with her son, Tom Nolan. What we did was ran a youth program out of the Elwood Community Center. We ran it for about a year. Then after that, she also involved me in the Nonviolent Institute with Sister Ann Keith, and that was also an exciting part. I know I'm seeing you smile with great pleasure because you know the biggest thing, and I have a picture today to say the most proudest moment in our life was when we won the civilian oversight, and that was a great time in her life. This is a most beautiful picture. I have thousands of pictures of her, but this one right here made memories, and I wanted to bring it and share with you tonight her spirit. Not only did she support us in changes within the community and all those great things that you have said, leader, and I'm proud of the fact that you have put this resolution through. I think it's awesome, and I'm proud of you for also as a co-sponsor, simply because I became a city council and she became my constituent. So, you know, you never know. I love this woman. I've learned a lot from her and many people in my life. There's many people who have equipped me for what I have. And I want to say that, you know, we lost a hero, but this woman actually did perform as a city council and as a public servant, and she cared about the people. I hope I instilled some of those things that she had as values as I represent my people, as I seen her representing us when I lived in Ward 9. So thank you for allowing me this opportunity. And thank you again for this resolution. I'm glad to be here tonight to speak on her. Thank you.
Well said. Any other council member would like to speak? Yes. Council President Pro Tem Pedro Espinal.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. What a great person Councilwoman Nolan was. I knew her for many years. I actually served with her on 3 different committees, on the Washington Park Foundation, Washington Park Citizen Association, and on the South Side Broad Street Steering Committee. Now, if you remember that, that's when John Palmieri was the Director of Planning and Development. Sister Ann Keith was on that committee. And we oversaw the repavement of Broad Street and the upgrades that we did back then. But it wasn't, back in 1998, there was a family visiting from New Jersey, and they had 2 little girls, aged 10 and 7. And there was an accident as they were crossing the street. One of them ended up passing away. So immediately, I used to live on Miller. I reached out to Councilwoman Nolan, and we got to work on making difference on that street. We actually began a series of traffic calming. We were able to lower the speed from 25 to 15. We put signage out on the street. We put a speed bumps. So she was always someone that was present, that was there, that was dedicated, that was so committed to the community. You will find Councilwoman Nolan any and everywhere that she was needed. So I have so many memories of her, and I think in part, I got to thank her for instilling in me the desire to work in my community and to serve my community, because I started doing that with her. And look at me today, I sit here as an elected official, and I think that she had a lot to do with that, because I did work with her for a long time and I learned a lot from her. So it's an honor for me to co-sponsor the resolution. And I thank Councilwoman Ryan for putting it together, and yourself, Council President. Thank you.
Well said again. Councilwoman LaFortune, would you like to speak? I'm sorry, I apologize.
I would just like to ask to be added as a co-sponsor, if it's okay with.
Oh, yeah, I did. I had the whole
Okay.
council co-sponsor. I did that.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
I got everybody? Mr. Clerk, you do have everybody, correct, sir?
So noted. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak on behalf of a champion of the people, Patricia Nolan? I served on the Finance Committee with. That. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? God bless you. Mr. Clerk, next item, please.
Item 35, Council.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to waive the readings of item 35 and 36.
Second that motion, Mr. President.
Second by Chairwoman Ryan. Discussion, all in favor? Refer those items to Finance, please. Next item, please.
Report from committee. Committee on Public Works. Councilman Michael J. Correa, Chairman, transmits
Mr.
the
President.
following.
Majority Leader.
Motion to approve item 37 on a voice vote.
Second that motion, Mr. President.
Second by Chairwoman Ryan. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Next item.
Item 38, from the clerk's desk.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to waive the readings of item 38 and 39.
Second that motion, Mr. President.
Second by Chairwoman Ryan. Discussion, all in favor? Aye. Refer those items to ordinance, please. Excuse me. Yep. No,
One to
excuse me,
Public
Public
Works.
Works.
One Public Works, one
One Public Works
ordinance.
and one ordinance. Thank you, Majority Leader, for correcting me. One to Public Works and the other one to ordinance, please, Mr. Clerk. Next item, please.
So noted. 38 to Public Works, 39 to ordinances. Item 40, petitions for compensation for injuries and damages.
Receive. Next item, please.
Communication and reports. Item 41.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to waive the readings of items 41 through 43.
Second that motion, Mr.
I
President.
have a second by Chairwoman Ryan. Discussion, all in favor? Aye. Receive those items.
Item 44, Council President
Mr.
Iglesias.
President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
motion to pass on a voice vote.
Second that motion, Mr. President.
Second by Chairwoman Ryan. Discussion, all in favor? Aye. Next item, please.
Presentation of resolutions in memoriam. For item 45.
Mr.
Council
President.
Majority Leader Taylor.
Motion to pass on a unanimous rising vote.
Second that motion, Mr. President.
Second by Chairwoman Ryan. Discussion? All in favor? Aye.
All right.
Next item.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader Taylor.
if there's no more business to be had, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn in memory of former Councilwoman Patricia Nolan and also in memory of retired Providence firefighter Kevin Willis.
Second that motion, Mr. President.
I have a motion by the chair, Majority Leader, and a second by the Chairwoman Ryan. Discussion? All rise. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. God bless those families. Thank you all. This meeting is adjourned. We also have a meeting on the rise. It's the committee on St. Patrick's Day. The members are, Jen, who are the members? Chairwoman Ryan is a member. Who else?